Hello, and welcome to Turkish Film's Daily Chess Analysis, Episode 14. Today we played a blitz game, and it was an Orthodox King's Indian defense. I've actually faced this a lot of times recently. Like today, I think I faced it 3 times. This is the only one which was the bishop g4 line. I need to learn a lot more about this, because I remember hearing somewhere that people thought that there are basically white has moves so that black's attack his main super crazy king side pawn storm doesn't work. There's like specific moves he can make. It's theory, and so it kind of fell out of favor, and then kind of more recently started getting back into favor and all this kind of stuff. So I haven't really prepared for it so much, but I should really start. So bishop g4, h3 is kind of a move that I want to make anyway. If he's going to launch his pawns, sure, h3 might be a hook, but if he's giving away his light square bishop, he can never sacrifice there for it. And he decided to trade, so now I immediately have the 2 bishop advantage, and that's reflected here in the assessment. Okay, he played c6, which I thought was an odd move. In a lot of lines, he doesn't really want to play c6, so he's in the King's Indian. He's often striking with c5 or e5 in my experience. He doesn't often give away the bishop either, so it's obviously a different position. But c6 seemed a little odd to me. Now, right when he traded, I thought to myself, I think he's going to try to close the position because he has 2 knights and I have 2 bishops. So he's like, here, have the 2 bishops, and then is secretly plotting to kind of close down the position so my bishops look really stupid. So I thought c6 was an attempt to try to close down the position. You move your pawn slowly so that any pawn move by me, his opponent, can be met by a pawn push, and there's no en passant. That's possible. Okay, I castled, but I should have played bishop e3. Bishop e3 is a move that shows up all the time in my games because I don't make it. And often my pawn isn't on h3, and so I'm afraid of knight g4, but the computer isn't. Here, there's no reason to be afraid of knight g4 because I just take it. So bishop e3 makes a lot of sense. Okay, he played knight b to d7, a fine move. And I played bishop f4. Now, I honestly didn't consider bishop g5. One, it's not pinning the knight, and I kind of don't, in general, try to attack pieces that are, like this knight especially, that isn't pinned, and it's defended like a million times. I didn't see the benefit of it. But also h6 seemed a little bit annoying. But it turns out the computer line is that if he plays h6, which is not the computer line, to just go back. So your bishop really wants to be on bishop e3. This h6 move is bad, so you're provoking that move. I don't think you're ever actually intending to take the knight. Yeah, in this position, you don't take the knight. You just continue playing like normal queen d2, and you're trying to take this bishop. But this is just maybe a slight added benefit that he can't, like with bishop f4, he can attack your bishop. He can't really kick it out if he wants to. So that's the idea behind bishop f4, that's the idea behind bishop g5, and why bishop f4 is not so good. I was trying to hold down the e5 square so I can get my pieces ready to play e5. Because I thought, hey, I have 2 bishops, I need to open up the position. He played knight b6, which kind of confused me. He's attacking a pawn, sure, but I wanted to defend the pawn anyway, and his knight doesn't have any prospects here. One benefit of c6 is to throw the b5 pawn, and he's put his knight in front of that, so the c6 move is looking less and less useful, kind of the more moves that he's making. I played queen e2, trying to play e5 and defending the central pawn, or the c pawn, sorry. He played knight fd7, which kind of makes a little bit of sense of knight b6, right? Knight b6 vacated the d7 square, so we could put another piece there. And here I was like, oh, f5 may be coming, e4 might be coming. Here, I don't think either of those moves. I mean, e5 is fine, f5 is not. Okay, I played e5. He captured, I captured back. And here he played knight c5, which was kind of curious to me. I understood that his plan was to put his knight here to attack my bishop and to blockade this pawn. But I just didn't think it was a great, he's putting his knight on an undefended square. He's opening up the central files. So I hopped on the central files, and rook ad1 just seems supernatural to take this rook that was doing approximately nothing and was sitting on a bishop with a diagonal, and sitting on the diagonal with a bishop, and move into the center while attacking the queen. It just kind of seemed like that one sort of seemed like a no-brainer. Now, the only pause that I had with rook ad1 is I thought his queen would be better on c7. It's the only other square the queen has that's any good to me. So I thought I'm kind of putting the queen where it wants to go anyway. That seems sort of odd, and I'm actually building pressure on my own pawn here. And I thought, okay, the queen is on c7, lined up with my bishop. So e6 would be a powerful move. Attacking, the queen, attacking here, opening up the position so my bishop's, laser down the board. The problem now is it hangs a bishop, so let's defend the bishop. And I chose to play bishop h2. Computer prefers bishop g3. They're slightly different. Bishop g3 has the opportunity to play here and defends the bishop with a pawn, so it keeps my king having luft. Here I like it because maybe later, if I want to push these pawns, I can. Also, it's defended by my king, which is great. He played knight e6 anyway, blockading this pawn. I thought e6 was better when he played knight e6. I was like, oh, okay. His knight's kind of frozen there for now, it seems. Bishop g4. For me, it's the main idea is playing f4 followed by f5, but also it's attacking that knight which was awkwardly placed and threatening to double his pawns. He played rook ad8, which makes a lot of sense, right? That piece was doing nothing, so he's going to make it better. And I decided to play f4 in this case. Computer preferred that I double his pawns right away. It thought this was horrible for him. I understand that this looks just very bad. I just wasn't ready to so easily give up the bishop pair. I wasn't sure that this was sufficient. Computer seems to think it is, especially after f4. I just didn't see it the way the computer did. So I played f4. He captured. I captured back, and he played rook d8. And here I made a big mistake. In the game, I was deciding between f5, but I didn't like captures, and I thought I had to capture with the knight to keep protecting this pawn. And then maybe my knight would go here or something like that. But computer preferred definitely to take this here. And after takes, I assume I have to take with the knight to protect the pawn. But actually, the bishop, even though in my mind this bishop is already a goner, and it is, after fe6, it's my turn, and so I can defend the pawn with b3, which is super nice. I don't think about that. I think of this bishop as just being dead when I take there, but it's not. Rook d8 ends up just petering out. Just too many pieces are being traded, and my advantage starts showing itself less and less. He took, and I played f5 when I should have taken. Now he actually has the advantage. Queen d4 check. Picks up a pawn if he wants it. I played king h1. He captured. I captured back. He captured. And I played queen h5. Queen h5 was trying to, hopefully he doesn't see mate over here. But was just trying to create some problems in his camp. And I spent a while on this move, but it wasn't very good. Just taking this and saying you have doubled pawns, that's bad for you, is good enough. Also, my queen would stay defending the b2 pawn in that case. Okay, he played h6. Now it goes back to a draw after bishop e6. And I played queen e8, trying to scoop up some pawns and maybe organize something against him. I only have a queen. That's it. That's the only piece I have in the attack right now. Okay, and I took the pawn. He took here, and you notice that my knight is hanging, but I saw that I have a perpetual check if he takes my knight. He did, and so I started the perpetual check, so I was pretty happy that I was able to draw. I also had very little time on my clock, if I remember. I think I had like 30 seconds or something on my clock here. King g8, I keep checking him. Yeah, I should have checked him here. Didn't make a difference, really. He went here, which loses the game. After e6, I'm threatening checkmate here, as well as making a queen. And it's too much for him to handle. I didn't see it or saw it and didn't care. I was already in, this is a draw mode, so I just kept trying to draw him. And it became a draw after this position, which had been reached 3 times. So one of the main lessons, I guess, was playing queen d8 and just being stuck in it's a draw mode, and I don't have very much time. Maybe it's an okay practical decision, but if I can threaten mate and it doesn't harm my position, maybe I should do that. I just saw that my king's quite exposed, and I didn't like ideas like after check and I go here, his bishop can go there, threatening stuff. I guess in this case it doesn't work because that's a hanging bishop, but normally speaking. So one thing that I liked about this game is I didn't panic after bishop g4. I just played normal looking moves that I wanted to play anyway. I recognize c6 as not such a great move. And since it wasn't a great move that I had to punish right away, I can just let c6 kind of... I don't remember who said it, but this pawn's in the wrong spot. And when your pieces are in the wrong spot, instead of blooming, instead of becoming like a flower, like a knight on an outpost, which really shows its strength over time, if you have your piece in the wrong square, the piece kind of rots there, and it starts to smell bad. And so I can just kind of let this pawn sit here and rot and really just eat at his position. Okay, and so I continue my plan. Bishop e3 was more ambitious. Now bishop f4 just misses an opportunity to be better. Okay, queen e2, totally natural. And I'm glad I broke at the right time. And this is in line with... So I'm happy I found that. Rook d1's good. I don't fault myself for these moves. I'm glad I found bishop g4. And f4 was not very good. And rook captures d8 was very bad. So I need to value these positional binds that I can put my opponent in more, instead of trading pieces and trying to be all tactical with it and playing, f5 breaking through. I don't think I can reasonably mate. These bishops are on the same side as the king, and bishops point across the board. So if I was going to mate, these bishops should be on the other side of the board, and rooks should still be on the board. So that was another big mistake, and f5 was huge as well. Yeah, I'm really not a fan of this ending. I just didn't play it very well, and obviously, queen d8 just misses the opportunity to win the game. So that was all. I mean, overall, the game was only 36 moves or so. So you can see we didn't do too bad. I played 95%. My opponent played 90%. It did end peacefully, which is good. You can see here some of the stats regarding the game. I had perfect knight moves. That's good to see. And the game that left the book was h3, but I was ahead at the end of the book, which is good. You can see down here the time move per blunder was 3 seconds for each of us. All right, well that was Daily Chess Analysis episode 14. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you stay Turkish. Goodbye.